Alright guys, Mikey here from the Electric Scooter Guy. And guys, I got an awesome little video for you today. And we're going to do it on 3 of the best 10-inch scooters on the market today. Well, 3 of the best 10-inch scooters on the market today, in my opinion. We're going to do it on the Dualtron Victor Luxury that just came out not too long ago. We're going to do it on the Kaabo Wolf Warrior X and the Vsett 10 Plus. And I'm going to tell you guys what I think about these 3 electric scooters and where I would rank these 3 electric scooters 1 to 3. Now, let's start off with the Dualtron Victor Luxury. Supposedly, it's a 50 mile per hour scooter. I think it's more like a 45 to 47 mile per hour scooter, but it is a fast scooter for a 10-inch. It's probably the fastest out of all 3 of these, out of the Kaabo and the the Vsett. Now, I rode this scooter before it even came out at Mini Motors, and I gotta say, I was very impressed. And I rode the regular Dualtron Victor last year at Mini Motors, and I was very impressed. But what they did was they upgraded it. Instead of having a grip tape deck, it's got a rubber deck now, which I love. It looks more 21st century. I love the rubber deck. It's got more RGB now. The swing arms light up. The neck lights up. It's got a nice kick plate to put your foot, and the kick plate lights up. It's got brake lights that flash when you hit the brakes. It's got 140 millimeter rotors. Obviously, they're 10-inch tires, 10-inch by, I think, 3. But if you're going to get the scooter, you got to get hybrid tires so it protects the tube better and you won't get as many flats. It's got a double latching folding mechanism. It's got a kiddie bar on the front. So if you want to mount a headlight or two, you can mount a headlight or two, because the one little headlight on each side ain't going to do anything. My Dualtron Ultra 2 has 3 headlights on each side, and it really does nothing. So you're going to definitely have to mount a light to this scooter. It'll fit into most cars, even compact cars, because it folds up into a nice little package. I wish my Dualtron Ultra 2 folded up into a nice little package like this, because my Dualtron Ultra 2, my Kaabo, will not fit in my BMW. But I digress. It's got 2 2,000 watt motors, which is pretty good. 4,000 watts altogether. It's peaking at 4,000 watts altogether. Supposedly it could get 62 miles range, which I doubt, because my Dualtron Ultra 2 don't even get 62 miles range. And like I said, it comes in a 24 amp hour Chinese battery, and it comes in a 60 volt 30 amp hour LG battery. And if I were you guys, I'd go with the 30 amp hour LG battery. Now, it's pretty expensive for a 10-inch scooter. It's about $3,100. And you can pick it up from Mini Motors. Check out Mini Motors, New York City, guys. All right, moving on to the Kaabo Wolf Warrior X, one of my favorite scooters. I love this 10-inch scooter. I really, really do. Besides the bolts and screws being fucking cheap shit, I love this scooter. It's got the double stems. It's the baby version to the Kaabo Wolf Warrior 11 Plus. It comes in 2 battery configurations, a 21 amp hour battery version and a 28 amp hour battery version. The 28 amp hour battery version comes with the Mini Motors controller and speedometer. The 21 amp hour version comes with a sine wave controller and one of those QSS4 displays. Why they would make a 21 amp hour battery version with a sine wave controller, but they make the 28 amp hour version with just a square wave controller? It makes no sense. But it is a Mini Motors controller. At least it's a Mini Motors controller. As you can see, it comes with those hybrid tires like I was talking about before. Those hybrid tires just protect the tube so much better than, let's say, those shit tires that come on, those street tires that come on. It's got a double spring suspension in the back, Zoom hydraulic brakes, 140 millimeter rotors. It folds up nicely. It's got a great folding mechanism. I could attest to that because I rode this scooter 3 times, or two or three times at Fluid Free Ride. My boy Chuck that runs Fluid Free Ride actually has one. And I got to say, the stem has no play in it whatsoever. No play in the stem. It's not as rock solid as the Wolf Warrior 11 Plus, but it's very, very, very solid. And it folds up into a nice little package. So it'll fit into most cars. Not like the Kaabo Wolf Warrior 11 Plus. That fucking thing is horrible. You fold it up and it grows like 10 inches. It's got blinkers, a horn. It's got two 1100 watt motors, so it is pretty quick. It does about 45 miles per hour. It's not as fast as the Dualtron Victor Luxury or the Vsett 10 Plus, but it is quick, and it definitely is one of my favorite 10-inch scooters. You could get it at Fluid Free Ride. All right, guys, moving on to the Vsett 10 Plus. Another one of my favorite scooters, but it's got a lot of flaws to it, okay? Now, I know a lot of people rant and rave about this electric scooter, and I like it. I think it looks great, but they use very cheap screws. I mean, every time you have to take the front mud guard off or the rear mud guard off, you gotta change the screws every single time. That's how cheap they are. Okay? The suspension to me is way too soft. It's like a trampoline. It bounces up and down. It bottoms out. So you got to put like a D&M suspension in there because the suspension is just way, 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 way too soft. My friend Matt has one. I ride it all the time. I only weigh 140 pounds and it's just way too soft for me. It bottoms out everywhere and he doesn't even have 1,000 miles on it. That's just crazy. So you need to definitely upgrade the suspension. You see the screws that I'm talking about, guys? Look at the screws on the mudguard, how cheap they are. Very, very, very cheap screws. Now it comes in a couple of battery configurations. It comes in a 20 amp hour battery version, a 25.6 amp hour battery version. That's the one my boy Matt's got. And it comes in a 28 amp hour battery version. But the 28 amp hour battery version is fucking $2,800, $2,750. I mean, you can get a fucking Kaabo Wolf Warrior 11 Plus for the same price. And I would rather a Kaabo Wolf Warrior 11 Plus than a 10-inch Vsett. I mean, it's a good little scooter. It's got 140 millimeter rotors. It's got Zoom hydraulic brakes. And it does have one of the best folding mechanisms on the market. And like I said, I could attest to that because I rode this scooter a shitload of times. And the folding mechanism is rock solid. It's just that when you move the handlebars from up top back and forth, it might seem like there's stem play, but there's not. That's just the suspension moving back and forth because it's so soft. It's kind of dangerous. When you're doing like 35, 40 miles an hour, kind of making a turn with the scooter, the front tire chatters up and down, up and down, up and down. It's terrible. I don't know how anybody that's 150 pounds or more even rides that scooter with the stock suspension. But I digress. Otherwise, it's an awesome looking scooter. I think the Kaabo and the Vsett look a little bit better than the Dualtron, but I think that the Dualtron is the best out of all three of these scooters. That's just my opinion. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Which one of these three electric scooters do you think is the best? We could have thrown the Apollo Phantom in here, but I just wanted to do a top three. And I think the Apollo Phantom would have came out fourth if we did, a 1 through 4 test. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Mikey from the Electric Scooter Guy. Peace out.